All right, let's talk about hacking, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to skip right past the basics and dive into some of the more, well, frankly, startling methods that are being used right this minute. And it all starts with a simple idea that might challenge everything you think you know about security.
Yeah, you heard that right. That extra layer of security you depend on. You know, the little 6-digit code that pops up on your phone? It's not the silver bullet we all hope it is. In fact, some of the most clever attacks out there are designed specifically to sidestep it.
And we're not just going to tell you it's possible, we're going to break down exactly how it happens, step by step, using real-world examples. So let's jump right in.
So first things first, the most common battleground for a hacker isn't actually your computer's code, it's your mind. These attacks are all about targeting your trust, using psychology to trick you into handing over the keys to your entire digital life. Okay, let me paint you a picture of how this actually works. Imagine you get an email. It looks totally legit, maybe about a brand collaboration from a company you know, like Collabstra. You click the link, and it takes you to a website that is a perfect pixel-for-pixel clone of the real thing. So you go to join, try to log in with your Google account, and it asks for your email, your password, and then that two-factor authentication code from your phone. But here's the crazy part. While you're typing that code into the fake site, the hacker is in the background inputting your details into the real Google site in real time. They grab the code you just gave them, pop it into the real login page, and just like that, they're in. You've literally just held the door open for them.
And trust me, this kind of deception goes way beyond just fake websites. Hackers can use hidden cameras, like in a pair of smart glasses, to literally watch you type your password. They can slip a tiny little USB keylogger between your keyboard and computer that records every single thing you type. Or they might just call you up pretending to be from a delivery company, asking for an OTP to confirm your package, when really, that OTP is for your bank account. The one thing all these have in common? They prey on our natural human instinct to trust.
And another massive trap people fall into is pirated or cracked software. You know, you download a free version of some expensive program, and what's the first thing it asks? Please disable your antivirus to install. What you might not realize is that you've just rolled out the red carpet for ransomware. That's malware that can lock up all of your personal photos, your documents, everything, and then demand a huge payment in Bitcoin to maybe get them back.
So, we've seen how hackers can trick a person, but what about tricking the machine itself? Well, the networks we connect to every single day, especially public Wi-Fi, are basically a playground for hackers who want to get right in the middle of our data stream.
A classic move here is something called the evil twin attack. Let's say you're at a coffee shop and you see Cafe Wi-Fi pop up. Looks normal, right? But what you don't know is that a hacker has set up their own hotspot with that exact same name. Your phone might just connect to it automatically. And once you're on their network, they become the man in the middle. They can see everything you send and receive, passwords, private messages, you name it.
So how in the world do they pull this off? Well, while most of us use a graphical user interface, a GUI, with all its friendly, clickable icons, hackers live in the command line interface, or CLI. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Instead of a nice graphical door, they've just got a black screen. But if they type the right magic words, the right command, like Open Sesame, the system does exactly what they want. It's way less intuitive, but it's incredibly powerful.
You can actually think about Wi-Fi security like a series of increasingly better locks. The original standard, WEP, was like one of those cheap diary locks you could pop open with a screwdriver. WPA was a bit better, but you could still make a duplicate key. WPA2, which is what most of us have at home, is like a sturdy combination lock. It's tough, but if a hacker has enough time and the right tools, they can eventually guess the combo. And the newest one, WPA3, that's like adding a fingerprint scanner. It's a whole different ballgame.
To crack a WPA2 network, a hacker basically follows 4 steps. They put their Wi-Fi card into a special monitor mode so it can listen to all the traffic in the air. They scan for networks, and then they try to capture the handshake. That's the little burst of encrypted data that gets exchanged when a new device connects. Once they have that handshake, they take it offline and run what's called a dictionary attack, which just hammers it with thousands of common passwords per second from a massive list until, pop, they find a match.
Okay, now for something that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. We've talked about tricking people and tricking networks. But what happens when hackers start weaponizing artificial intelligence to find vulnerabilities that we can't even see?
I want you to think for a second about the device you're using right now, the keyboard you type on every single day. What if I told you that the simple physical wear and tear on those keys could give away your password without a hacker ever seeing you type a single letter?
Seriously, take a look at a keyboard you've used for a while. You see how some letters are more faded and shiny than others? To us, that's just wear. But to an AI, those worn-out keys tell a story, of frequency, of patterns, and of probability.
It's called the dull key attack. A hacker just needs one clear photo of your keyboard. They feed that picture to an AI and tell it, hey, the password is a combination of these most faded keys. The AI then analyzes which keys are the most worn down and starts generating the most likely passwords. So if the keys for S, O, N, A, L, I, and 123 are the most faded, you better believe the AI's first guess is going to be Sonali 123. It's a physical clue to a digital secret.
Okay, I know that was a lot of pretty scary stuff, but the whole point of this isn't to create fear, it's to empower you. So now let's talk about how to build your own digital fortress with a few simple, actionable steps.
First up, your accounts. Before you type a password, just take a half second to glance at the URL. Does it look right? Is there a little padlock icon? And please, treat every single unsolicited email with a healthy dose of suspicion. And that one-time password, your OTP, treat it like your bank PIN. Never, ever share it with anyone. No real company will ever ask you for it, period.
Next, let's lock down your network. Go into your router settings. If WPA3 security is an option, switch to it. That's that fingerprint lock we were talking about. Also, disable WPS. That's the little push-button connection thing that can actually be a security hole. And for your Wi-Fi password, make it long. Think a whole sentence or a random string of more than 20 characters. It makes those dictionary attacks pretty much useless.
And finally, your actual devices. It's simple. Just don't use cracked software. The risk of getting hit with ransomware is just too high. Be super cautious with public computers at libraries or cafes. You have no idea if a keylogger is installed. And if some random person hands you a USB stick, don't plug it in. That's the digital equivalent of accepting a drink from a total stranger.
At the end of the day, security isn't just about having the best tech, it's about awareness and being in control. Every single action you take online, from the passwords you pick to the links you click, is writing another page in your digital story. So the real question is, are you the one holding the pen?